Let me tell you about two people who started with the exact same opportunity. Marcus and David both graduated college at 22. Both got jobs paying $45,000, and both had the same student loan debt. They lived in the same city, had the same expenses, and came from similar families. On paper, they were identical. The only difference was when they started taking money seriously. Marcus started at 25, David started at 35, just 10 years apart. Same income, same intelligence, same opportunities. Today Marcus is 45 years old with $620,000 in investments. David is also 45 years old with $140,000 in investments. Marcus has 4 times more money than David, and David will never catch up no matter how hard he tries. Not because David is lazy or stupid or made terrible choices, but because David missed something that nobody told him about until it was too late. He missed the wealth window, and once that window closes, the math never works in your favor again. My name is Mayor, and I've spent weeks investigating why your 35th birthday might be the most important financial deadline that nobody talks about. If you're in your 20s thinking you have time, or in your 30s wondering why building wealth feels impossible, hit subscribe, because what I'm about to show you will change how you think about time and money forever. Here's what everyone gets wrong about building wealth. They think it's about how much you make, or how much you save, or how smart your investments are. Those things matter, but they're not the main character in this story. The main character is time, specifically the time before you turn 35. Those years between 22 and 35 are not just another decade of your life. They're the wealth window, and what you do inside that window determines more about your financial future than anything you do after it closes. Let me show you why with simple math that will make you uncomfortable. Marcus invested $300 per month starting at age 25. Just $300, nothing crazy, the cost of a car payment most people don't think twice about. He put it in a basic index fund, earning around 8% per year on average, and he didn't touch it. By the time Marcus turned 35, he had invested $36,000 of his own money, but his account was worth $56,000 because compound interest had already started working. Here's where it gets wild. Marcus then stopped investing completely at 35. He never added another dollar. He just let it sit there for the next 30 years. By the time he turned 65, that $56,000 had grown to $620,000 without him lifting a finger. Now look at David. David didn't start until 35. He missed the wealth window entirely, but David was smart, and he knew he was behind. So he invested more. He put in $500 per month, almost double what Marcus invested. He did this for 30 years straight, never missing a month. By 65, David had invested $180,000 of his own money, compared to Marcus's $36,000. David put in 5 times more money than Marcus. David's account at 65 was worth $750,000. Wait, that's more than Marcus. But here's what David doesn't know. Marcus also kept investing $300 per month after 35, just like he did before. Marcus's real total at 65 is $1.2 million. David invested 5 times more and ended up with almost $500,000 less. The 10 years David missed cost him nearly $500,000, and he can never get it back. He could invest more, work harder, earn more, cut expenses, and none of it will close that gap because you cannot buy back time once it's gone. This is the cruelty of the wealth window. Nobody tells you it exists when you're young enough to use it, and by the time you understand it, it's either closing or already closed. And here's what makes it even worse. Your 20s and early 30s are exactly when you're least likely to invest. You're paying off student loans, building a career, maybe starting a family, probably not earning much, and definitely not thinking about retirement that feels like a lifetime away. Every financial pressure in your life is screaming at you to spend now and save later. So you tell yourself the same thing David told himself. I'll start when I make more money. I'll start when things settle down. I'll start next year. Then next year becomes 5 years, becomes 10 years, and suddenly you're 35 looking at the math for the first time and realizing what you lost. The wealth window isn't just about retirement accounts. It's about every financial decision that compounds over time. The person who bought a modest house at 28 builds equity for 7 more years than the person who waited until 35. The person who built an emergency fund at 26 never pays credit card interest during a crisis, while the person who built one at 36 already lost thousands to high-interest debt. The person who negotiated their salary hard at 24 earns more at every job for the rest of their life because every raise is a percentage of a higher base. Everything financial compounds, and the earlier you start, the more time works for you instead of against you. I'm not telling you this to make you feel hopeless if you're already past 35. You still have decades ahead, and starting now is always better than starting never. But I am telling you this because you deserve to know the truth that financial media never explains clearly. Time is not on your side. Time is not waiting for you to be ready. Every year you delay costs you more than you can calculate, and the wealth window between 22 and 35 is the most valuable financial asset you will ever have. If you're inside that window right now, treat it like the gift it is. If you're past it, stop waiting and start today, because a smaller window is still a window. And if you know someone in their 20s who thinks they have plenty of time, send them this video, because the biggest financial favor you can do for someone young is telling them the truth before they figure it out too late. If this changed how you think about time and money, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.